Okay, I think we're rolling. Awesome. Well, I want to thank you guys for all calling in tonight. It is October the 21st, I think. The 20th or the 21st, 2018. What day is it? Okay.
Sunday.
October the 21st, Sunday, 2018. And I am obviously in the car. To be safe on my calls. Brad and I drove to Dallas, Texas on Friday, and we're on the way back home. And so I appreciate you guys getting in the call. I went to a conference that Brad's work instead of mine, and but you know, you always pick up tips everywhere you go because it's also a selling company and stuff. And there was some speakers that have made $200 million. $2 million. Other direct line. They know what they're talking about. That is a lot of money. Would y'all not agree? 200 million. And so anyway, I got some really great tips that I want to share with y'all. But before I do, I want to announce that the winner of last week's drawing for the Zoom calls, our Boss Babe calls, was Karen Brubaker. So y'all give her a hand. She is from Mississippi, and I was in the car, and so I just counted in order everybody that commented, and then I asked Brad to pick a lucky number. So she was the lucky number that got picked. So I'll be sending Karen a little goodie this week, and then one of the directors, if you guys can volunteer to do it for this week, let me know, and y'all can just volunteer on the other call or whatever. I mean, on the other Boxer group, and let me know. I want to do a shout out for those of you that did respond. Some of you may have done this and hasn't responded yet, but people that have already gotten team members this month, because it's double credit month. So congratulations to Anna Strunk and Catherine Scott, who have both got 3 recruits already for the month. Woo! Okay, and congratulations to Joyce, Rosie Kane for 2 recruits for the month. Woo! Congratulations to Joyce, 10 Eek, I'm sure I'm not saying her name exactly right, with 1, to Latrice with 1, to Elizabeth Mitchell with 1, to Lindy Blair with 1, and I know there were going to be a lot more, and there may be a lot more that just didn't get my last minute question where I said to text in if you got a recruit. And also to the ones that actually responded on the wholesale, like I said, it was only about an hour ago, that have already done over $1,000 wholesale, Phyllis Harris and Linda Wingett. So congratulations to both of them. And you guys know that we're trying to max out our double credit with wholesale and with recruiting this month of October. And we got 10 days left to do it. So I know that the last 10 days are always better than the first 20 days because that's just the way it is, okay? So we are going to, I'm going to share some tips on recruiting and tips on making connections with people that you don't know, okay? And I think everybody has gifts and talents, and sometimes meeting new people, it comes easy to some people, and to other people it's awkward because you're not used to it. In 30 years, it's a way of life to see people I don't know and start talking to them. It maybe wasn't natural way back when, but it is. Let me see if everybody's muted out just a second here, you guys. Okay. And so anyway, there was a tip that I got, and I've heard this before. I don't think I've heard it in exactly this way, that I thought was great, of what to say when you meet someone new. Now, and this could be like, let's say it's a waitress. Let's say it's somebody you're buying shoes from. Let's say, it doesn't even matter. You could be in Walmart. You could be outside waiting on a cab. You could be in an elevator, wherever you are. And you're just trying to meet, maybe you're even at a networking function. Maybe you're doing a booth, or just anytime you're in front of new people and you're trying to think of something to say, you know, and then you're trying to hold a conversation with a new person, okay? And so you take the letters FORM, F-O-R-M, FORM. And this is a great way to remember in your head of kind of what to talk about when you're talking to someone new that you're trying, and your goal on this is to find what kind of a need could Mary Kay feel in their life. Because you're not going to know until you talk to them for a few minutes, right? Because if you meet someone and go, they're a waitress, and they're like, can I take your order? And you say, you'd be good at Mary Kay. I mean, you don't even know them. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You have no idea, and you just blurt it out there. You're probably not going to get a recruit that way. But if you start really talking to her and found out a need, then you could tell her about Mary Kay. Okay, so let's just talk about it. So the first thing you might want to talk about when you meet someone new, and this could even be someone that maybe you met her at a skincare class, and she agreed to meet with you to talk a little bit about Mary Kay even. Maybe you've already kind of got her that far, but even if you haven't, okay? So the first thing you're going to do, the F stands for family. You're going to ask her about her family. There's not a woman on the face of the earth that does not want to talk about her and her family. You know that, right? So you're going to say, well, tell me about your family. Are you married? You know, do you have children? Oh, you do? Really, what ages are they? Awesome. What are they involved in? Great. You know, you got according to what age they are, you know. You have grandchildren? Oh, awesome. Now, and one of the things I learned is sometimes, and I think in Mary Kay sometimes we do this, is that you want to still keep it about them the whole time. Instead of going, if they go, I have 2 kids, I do too. Okay, my kid plays basketball, mine does too. Mine's a captain of the basketball team. Wait before you start telling your whole life. Let them talk and just keep asking questions about them, because what will happen is later after you get the whole picture, you can tell a little bit about you and how you relate to her, okay? But you want to let her do most of the talking. So, you know, tell me about your family. Okay, so you're listening. What are they involved in? They may have kids that are involved in every sport. They may have grandkids that they love to spoil. They may not have kids yet. Maybe they're in college, and you got a boyfriend, or you don't even have to ask that. You know, they'll tell you usually. But you're going to find out about the things that are most important to them, and usually that for a woman, it is her family or her close friends. Okay, then you're going to find out the O in form stands for occupation. Do y'all hear that music? What in the Sam Hill? Hang on a minute, you guys. I have no idea. Call me maybe, just like decided to come on. Okay. I'm like not even touching the iPad. So why it chose to start singing Call Me Maybe, I have no idea. Okay, so you got family, and then the O stands for occupation. So you're going to ask the lady. Now, obviously, if she is working, let's say she's a waitress, you're not going to say, well, what do you do? But you could say, is this your only job? You know, do you do anything else? You're a student, you know, but maybe it's someone else that you're just meeting randomly and say, oh, what do you do? And they'll tell you what they do. And then you're going to say some things like, what you're trying to find out is, do they love their job? And is this their forever job? Like their dream job that they're going to stay with forever because they love it so much? And if not, what do they like about it? What they don't like about it? So you're going to say, oh, well, that sounds interesting. Say, what do you like the most about your job? Okay. And then they're going to tell you. And let's say they go, well, I'm a teacher. I'll say, oh, great. Well, what age do you teach? Oh, well, I teach, middle school. I'm like, that's a tough age, but it's a fun age, because they're kind of babies and then they're kind of grown. and then say, well, that is also how long you've been teaching school, right? Well, what do you love the most about teaching? And usually they go, well, it's making a difference in kids' lives or something like that. Say, is there anything you don't like about it? And they'll say, I don't like grading papers, and they'll tell you whatever else they might not love about it, okay? They don't make enough money. They're overworked, underpaid, things like that, okay? And then you can say, well, one of the things you might ask is say, would you say this is your dream job? Like you see yourself doing this, 5, 10, 20 years down the road? And some people go, yes, this is what I really want to do. I love it. I love it. You said that is awesome, you know, and you just talk about that a minute, you know, and then say, but most people, we found a statistic that 74% of everybody are doing a job that they hate, not even that they don't like, that they hate. 74%. That's a lot of people getting up and going to work, doing something they don't even love. Isn't that something, you guys? So chances are they're going to have something they don't really love about what they're doing. So you're going to just listen. You're listening, and you're going to listen to what kind of needs that they may have. All right. And then the R is for recreation. So you're going to find out. Say, well, what do you like to do for fun? What do y'all do? Do y'all? And you know your area. Like if you're in a place that everybody goes to the lakes, and y'all like to go to the lakes, y'all boat. You know, do y'all go snow skiing? According to what area you're in, you know, whatever. You like to golf. I mean, and they'll tell you. Say, oh, well, our family, we love going camping, and we go. I said, well, really, where y'all go? You know, they're just going to talk to you about things they like to do, because this could be where they might have a need to have more money to do the things they like to do. You see what I'm saying? So you're just listening to their family, their occupation, recreation, to see what kind of something that they might like to use their Mary Kay money for. In your mind, that's what you're thinking. What could Mary Kay feel in their life? What could it be? And so, and then the M stands for message. And it's your message about Mary Kay. So you really are going to, you're going to talk to them first. I don't know who that is, but you're going to talk to them first about everything, and then you're going to talk about Mary Kay, because then you're going to kind of know what to talk to them about, because according to what they said to you, that's how you're going to approach why they might like to do this. And so it may go something like, you know, you may say something like, well, you know what, and write these letters down too. Feel, felt, found. It's feel, I know how you feel. I felt the same way, and I have found. Okay. Someone coming. Hang on just a second, guys. So feel, felt, found. That's something that Mary Kay, okay, I gotta take care of. Okay. Thank you, Misha. That's something that Mary Kay taught us. So, like, let's say you're starting to talk to him now, and you might say, you know, I know how you feel. I felt that same way when I was working all the time, but I still didn't have enough money to do the fun things that I wanted to do. And, you know, I found, you know, with Mary Kay, just working, you know, one party, I actually made more than, it would take me 10 hours to make that much money of what I did in 3 hours at a party. I couldn't believe it. And so if this is someone that you're not sitting down interviewing, you're just chit-chatting, you know, you might say, you know, I'd love to talk to you about it. I mean, it may or may not be for you, but for me, it's really helped me make that extra money that I needed for my family, because I also have 2 kids. And you know what I'm saying? Like, now you're going to talk a little bit about you, connect it with her, and then you may try to get an appointment to talk to her. Because, you know, it could be that you're talking to someone, like I said, you're out, you know, you're just chit-chatting with people, and it's not a time to sit there and do a whole interview, but you would love to get an appointment to sit and actually talk with her about it or call her about it. Does that make sense, you guys? You don't want to rush things too much, because if you rush into it and don't take the time to get to know her and find out her needs and things like that, then what happens is you'll do it like a halfway job, and you may not get her because you didn't take that time to get to know her a little bit better. Does that make sense to you guys a little bit? Okay. So when you meet anyone you meet, whether you even think it's going to be a Mary Kay thing, think about that letter form: family, occupation, recreation, and then your message of what you want to say to her. And it could be a message about letting her try the product, or it could be a message about the business. When I meet someone, like I met someone yesterday, I just walked outside. I was waiting on Brad to pick me up, and we were with a group. And this lady, I said, well, and it was a little bit cool. I said, I'm ready for some cool weather. I said, it's been just so hot. And this girl says, really? She goes, I'm from Florida. This is like winter to me. And I said, really? I said, well, I'm from South Georgia. I said, and it's been hot there too. And then she's like, I said, where do you live in Florida? And anyway, long story short, within a few minutes, I found out that she's from New Jersey. Her son was beside her. He was from New Jersey. That she works for Bristol-Myers. I mean, I'm telling you, with less than 5 minutes, I found out all this information about her. And then a friend of mine was standing beside me, and she goes, and because Brad drove up, and so I went ahead and left. But she said, because she was with this other company, and she goes, "Oh, how do you know her?" I said, "I don't know her." She said, "Well, had you met her before?" I said, "No, I've never met her before." I said, "She goes, well, what did you say?" "Well, you were talking." I said, "Yeah, I just started talking to her." She goes, "Well, what did you say?" So I told her. I said, well, I just went over there and I started talking to her. I mean, but it's just, that's the thing that is easy for me to meet people, because you have to make that first step and you have to talk to them first. Because a lot of times I found consultants and other people, they'll wait for someone to speak to them first. It's not going to happen, because if you look as sharp as y'all do when you go out, because I know all of you look sharp, you're the intimidating one. So when someone sees you, they're not going to talk to you because A, they think you're stuck up, probably because you look so great. Okay. Or you look unapproachable, or, whatever it is. Women are so crazy. They get intimidated, right? I mean, like, women are funny. So you have to make that first move and a big old smile and just a little bit of conversation. How are you doing? And one of the things that I do, and I've seen Sayla do this a million times, is she'll go up to people and she'll go, "How are you doing today?" And they're always shocked that someone's actually speaking to them, And then I usually ask, I mean, it's kind of crazy, but like, even if I go into a gas station, I might walk in there and go, "Well, how are you doing today?" And they'll say, "I'm all right." I'll say, "Well, I said, "Well, you look cute," or whatever, and then they just perk up, and I say, "How long you been working here?" I mean, you know what I'm saying? Now, I didn't go to their family thing yet, because you don't have to necessarily be, family, occupation, recreation, but how long you been working here. I'm just getting some information from her, and I haven't decided if I'm going to talk to her about Mary Kay yet or not. I'm just talking to people, and then when I get the feeling that I need to talk to him about Mary Kay, then I go ahead and talk to him about Mary Kay. Now, I think everybody needs a facial, like most everybody I talk to, they're going to get a card, and I'm going to offer them. I'm going to say, you know what? And even at this meeting I went to with Brad, there were some ladies there. I said, "Hey, I got to give y'all a book. I do." I said, "I'm a Mary Kay sales director." I said, "And everybody needs to look cute while you're selling health and wellness products." So I said, "Here's the book. Here's my card." I don't care. I mean, like, they can throw it in the trash can, but I am going to give it to them. And, they need to look good on the inside and the outside, right? And so don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to, when you're in other venues, have something ready. I had my books in my purse because I already knew I was going to be giving out some books. Now, I'm not going to go to a Tupperware meeting and have 20 books and like interrupt the whole thing and try to sell Mary Kay or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I am going to be prepared if I meet some people and I get the feeling I need to talk to them about Mary Kay. I'm going to. Okay. So I thought that was a great idea, using that to just remind yourself of some things you can talk about to people. Okay. I want you to know that people will talk to you, and the worst thing that you can think of that would happen to you is never going to happen. And that would be someone pulling out a gun and shooting you in the head. I mean, nobody is going to do that. Like when you call someone and go, "Hey, Jana, I'd like to talk to you about boom, done. I mean, no one is going to kill you for calling them about Mary Kay, you guys. They're not going to. Not everybody's going to tell you yes, but here's the truth. Not everybody's going to tell you no. They're just not. I mean, you can't get 100% no's. You won't. There is no way you will. So just know that if you keep asking people, you're going to get some yeses. There's going to be some people that do want to buy your product, that do want to book an appointment, and that do want to get on your team. Because if there wasn't, Mary Kay would be out of business, you guys. I mean, how would we be in business for 55 years if no one liked Mary Kay and no one wanted to book a party? We would not be in business. Our business would not be over, okay? So there are people out there looking for something more, and you don't know that call that you make, maybe she wasn't ready the last time you called her, but maybe something's changed, and this time she is ready to talk to you about it. And so what I do is I try to, like, I pray about my business. I'm sure you guys do too. And sometimes, do you ever have like a name that'll pop in your mind? And then you're going to do one of those, like, you're like, And then one side of you goes, you done talked to her 17 times. And the other side goes, look, I gave you that name. Why don't you just go ahead and pick up the phone and call her? And fear makes us get to this side and go, I'm not bugging her. She done told me no 700 times. I'm not going to call her again. And what you do, you guys, you got to listen to this other side. You got to listen to the Holy Spirit telling you to call her. And when you call them, you say, Jana, I know you have told me no 700 times about Mary Kay. And honestly, I did not even want to call you today. But I felt like that the Lord or the Holy Spirit is telling me to call you. And you may tell me no for the 715th time. But honestly, I just feel like I need to talk to you a little bit to see if anything's changed in your life. Or maybe I just need to talk to you about something else. But I know I'm supposed to call you today. And you just see what she says. She is not going to shoot you through the phone. Okay? So don't have to be afraid about dying after you make the call. And she may not even pick up the phone. And you may leave a message like that. And you may even text her. But I'm just saying, listen to when you get a name. And when you get it, just go and call them again. And if they say no again, that's okay. At least you were obedient, right? There might be somebody else around the corner. Because I hear story after story after story of how you never know when you call someone if that's the perfect time. And I'm going to give you a little example that happened to Brad. Brad was, I got a call from this guy that's in this company that Brad's in now. And he was asking me about it. And I said, I'm not really interested. I said, I appreciate your call. I said, but I'm kind of in my sweet spot with Mary Kay, and, I don't want to do anything else. And, this is what I do. But I said, I'll talk to Brad. I don't know if he might be interested. I don't know. He likes other health and wellness stuff. And so I got home that night and I talked to him about it. The guy called me right before my Mary Kay meeting. So I talked to Brad. And he's like, he listened, but it wasn't like anything like we weren't going to do anything about it, right? The next morning, Brad lost his job. The next morning, the guy from Charleston was at his office at 8 o'clock in the morning to say they were closing the office. And I'm like, wow. He goes, I know. I said, you think maybe you should do this thing? How coincidental is that you'd get a call about it and then you lose your job the next morning? We would never normally would ever have thought about doing this. He would, So that's why he's in right now, because this guy called me and I was not interested, but Brad was. Do you see what I'm saying? So you could call someone and she might be the person, or she might say, you know what, my sister just lost her job. Or she may say, I don't know, I'll think about it. And then the next day something happens and she calls you back, right? So I'm just saying he was nudged to call me. And he didn't know if I was saying, and he said, it didn't really matter if you said yes or no. I just knew I was supposed to call you because you're my friend. And, I didn't know. I hadn't talked to him in like 9 years. He didn't know if I was doing Mary Kay or not doing Mary Kay. You know what I'm saying? And but he just called me. And because, I was like, that's odd. So I picked up the phone and answered the call. So, you never know. I'm just saying, you might revisit some people that you really had a good feeling about that did not say yes. Okay? The other thing that I want you to know is, y'all know we have a great product. Y'all know we have a great product. And there's also a system of us selling our product that Mary Kay Ash set up 55 years ago. And that system is the main one that is, we have a lot of things that you can add to our system, but the main way, I don't want y'all to forget the main way that Mary Kay set up. And that is to try before you buy the products. Try before you buy. Now, of course, when Mary Kay started, there was no internet. So, there was one way to tell them about Mary Kay, and that was to show them in person. But that still holds true today, is that the skincare party is the main way. Now, there are a lot of other ways to sell Mary Kay. You can do Facebook parties, you can do open houses, you can do holiday baskets, you can do chemo packages, you can do adopt a grandparent, you can do all these other things to sell some product. But the main way, those are icing on the cake, the main way is the skincare party, where you sit down with a lady and you let her try our products. And I'm going to tell you why. Because it builds relationships with her. When a woman takes off all her makeup and then she puts it all right back on and she feels like a million and y'all spend an hour together, you have got a relationship. When you sell Susie Q a satin hand set and y'all talk for 2 minutes and you're done, you don't have a relationship. Hopefully one day you know what I'm saying? But when you really sit down with someone, you're going to form a relationship which will eventually be a customer for life. You will probably get bookings from it, and maybe you could recruit her. Does that make sense to you guys? And I want you to think about this. This was an analogy that they used this weekend. They said, raise your hand if you think McDonald's hamburgers are the best hamburgers in America. And of course, nobody raised their hand. And it's funny, I'm actually sitting outside of McDonald's. Nobody raised their hand. They said, but do you know who sells the most hamburgers in the world? McDonald's. McDonald's. Not even because they're the best hamburger, because they have the best system. The system works. And they have repeated that system over and over and over in all these different countries. Every country I've ever been to has a McDonald's. It's crazy. I mean, you want to feel at home in a foreign country? Go to a McDonald's, right? They do them the same way everywhere they are. I mean, I hope they don't put other animals in the hamburgers at McDonald's in China. But anyway, there's a McDonald's over there in Buenos Aires, But it's that system. It's a proven system. When they buy a franchise, they're taught how to do those hamburgers that way. Everybody knows exactly what they're supposed to do, and that's how they do it. And they're not veering from it, and they've been very successful. So with Mary Kay, I want you to remember that the most successful people are going to be the ones that have learned how to do a skincare class. They know how to do a close. They know how to get the referrals, and they know how to get the bookings, the follow-ups, and the recruits. And as you're doing your holiday sales, because I sell a ton during the holidays, I want you to, while you're selling, to remember to get referrals from the people you're selling to and to book future follow-up appointments with them for a checkup facial and for like a color appointment. Because I don't want you to get so far away from other sales that you're not doing your parties, because that is really the bread and butter. And I can look and here's the difference is, like if you only sell, perfumes, for example. Okay. A perfume could last a lady a year, or longer. I'm going to sell a skincare set, and I will sell, 20 times more than you do, because that skincare set is going to run out every 3 months. She's going to reorder. Even just while I was gone, I had a lady say, hey, can I get a repair set today? I'm like, yes, you can. And she just sent me the money over. She goes, can I pay you from my phone? And I said, yes, you can. So I just got a text that says, so-and-so has just sent you $221.55. I'm like, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like, why? Because I spent some time with her years ago. In fact, I think it was 7 years ago, I gave her a facial. And she has been buying from me ever since. That's what facials do and parties do, is you will get that customer for life. And if they never recruit, you will still make a ton of money on them, and they will love you forever because you're their beauty consultant. And you can't get that from all these other ways. So I'm not down on the other ways, because I like to sell in a number of ways. But I want you guys to make sure you don't neglect the skincare class, and that's what we used to call them, the skincare party, whatever you want to call them, beauty experience. Don't neglect that, because you're going to get more bang for your buck and more money for the hours you spend when you do a party. Okay? And I think you guys know that, but I just felt like I need to throw that out there. Okay? Okay. I want to talk to you just for a minute about let me see what time it is. Okay, about failure, because I feel like the thing that stops Mary Kay consultants anybody is the fear of failure. Or that you feel like you failed and you're no good at it, and then you quit. Okay, so let's just talk about it. And I want to give you two analogies. One is on failure is how we teach our children. When you're trying to teach your child how to ride a bike, okay, you get out there and you put them on the bike. Let's say the training wheels are off, and you're trying to teach them how to ride a bike without their training wheels. So you're up there, you're beside them, they start going, and then they fall. It's rare that someone on the very first try does not fall down on their bike, and then they're like, and so what do? You're like, it's all right. Let's get back up. Let's try it again. And you're beside them, and you're going with them, and they're going, and then they get wobbly and they may fall again. And you're like, you got this. You're ready to go. And so they get back up, and you would keep encouraging them. Or maybe, and then finally they get it, right? Or maybe they go out and they try out for the basketball team, or they try out for the band or something, and they don't make it, and they're so discouraged. I didn't make it. I stink. I'm no good. What do you tell your kids? You're like, look, So you're fine. We just need to practice this summer. Next year you can try out for it. I'm sure you're going to get stronger. You know, you're only in 6th grade. You got your whole middle school. You know, let's really practice all summer. And if you want to be on the basketball team, you can do it. You can try out next year, right? Practice makes perfect. Don't give up. You know, maybe they take piano lessons and they just like, it's too hard. I can't do it. Like, you can do it. Let's get back in there and practice, right? That's what you tell your children. All of you, I know you do, because you're all good moms. But with ourselves, when we mess up one time, we're like, I stink at this. This is not for me. I picked the wrong profession. Mary Kay doesn't work. We give up so quick. Don't we? So I want you to think of what you would tell your child if it was you. You know, if you're telling your child how to do this business or in life, you would say, don't give up. Try it again. You're doing better because you fail forward to success. Okay. And then the other analogy is about trick-or-treating. And someone brought it up. Sailor brought it up to me. And I remember this analogy. And it's like trick-or-treaters, like be like a kid. Like a trick-or-treater goes to the door and knock on the door. And nobody, let's say you got a group of kids. Okay. Or even one or two. There's usually a couple of them. They go and knock on the door. Nobody's there. Nobody's there. Okay. The lights are off. Nobody's there. Now, what do? Do they go start looking in the blinds? Do they take their trick-or-treat bag, cry, throw it on the floor, and go home? Trick-or-treating don't work for me. I hate trick-or-treating. I hate candy. Nobody likes me. No. What do kids do? They knock on the door. They wait a minute. Nobody comes. And then they run to the next house. They run like as fast as they can, laughing all the way to the next house to see if they can get some candy, right? And so they knock on that door, and then they may get candy, and they may get good candy, you know, Milky Way, Snicker bars, well, you know, the good candy, M&Ms, all right. Or they may get cheap candy, dollar store candy, no brand that you don't even like, or the worst, fruit. Don't kids hate to get fruit in their trick-or-treat? They probably don't do that anymore, but I remember when we trick-or-treat, and you'd have some guy that'd give you an apple or an orange. You're like, oh, for the love, chunk, let's go to the next house, right? And so you really never know. I mean, and in your Mary Kay business, you know, you may recruit some people that are the good candy. Like you can recruit a Milky Way bar, all right? Or sometimes you may recruit someone that's like a dollar store candy, and she don't stay in very long. But hey, at least you got some candy, right? And then you might get a piece of fruit, right? A fruit cake. And those, you pray they leave your team. And when they do, you clap when they're on the way out. But, you know, people, you know, you always say people come in your life. They probably come into Mary Kay too for a season, a reason, or a lifetime. And it's the same thing with that. So I want you to think about that kid that just, they don't give up. They don't get discouraged. They just go to the next house. They're like, it's okay. Somebody else probably got better candy anyway. I'm not supposed to have candy at that house. It's probably a creeper in that house. So think about those trick-or-treaters when you're out talking to women. You know, some of them are going to give you good candy, some of them are not, right? I just love that analogy. I love it, love it, love it. Okay. I think it's just one or two things that I wanted to tell you. Okay. In Mary Kay, your enthusiasm is what is going to, your enthusiasm is what's going to help y'all get recruits this month. Your enthusiasm about the business and about the product. Showing how much you love the products and showing how much you love the business, that's why people sign, because they don't really know if it's going to be good for them, but they see what you're doing and they want a piece of that and they like you. You know, they say people don't quit companies, they quit people. And if they like you and you are leading by example, and you're showing them, and that it's the truth. You know, Mary Kay said she always used to recruit by printing out a few weekly summary sheets where she would show a low week, a medium week, and then a great week. So she could actually show, this is what I made. You know, and you know, then they used to teach us to take the Applause magazine, open up the magazine and say, these are all the checks. These are all the checks of the directors for last month, in 1 month. And they're looking at that number and they're like, wow, okay, you're telling me somebody in this company made $40,000 in 1 month? And they're like, yeah. They go, I don't make that all year. They said, well, that's the potential of Mary Kay, you know. And there's not just one. There's pages and pages of women making, you know, $10,000, $8,000, $5,000, you know. And they were telling us some statistics about income of like a household. And this was kind of shocking to me. You guys may know this, but I'm just going to tell you. And they were saying that a household income, here it is, in America, Only 1% make over $250,000. 1%. 5% make $135,000. 10% $90,000, and 40% make less than $30,000. So seriously, just an extra $400-500 a month would really make a difference in some people's income. It really would. So can you teach someone how to make $100 a week with Mary Kay? I think we all can. That's one party. That's a bad party. Not a bad party, but you know what I'm saying? A lot of us, when we only had a $200 party, we'd be like, that stunk. But that's $100 that they made. And you do that every week, you'd have an extra $400, $500. Don't think that that don't make a difference with people. So we want the superstars that want to get out there and make, you know, 100,000 and 200,000 and all that. But I'm telling you, there's a lot of women that could use just a little bit of extra would help them, just a little bit, you know. And you guys all are equipped to show someone how to make a little bit of money with Mary Kay by holding a party a week. You know, 2-3 hours, just one, would help people. Do y'all agree? Everybody? Yes. Okay. Okay, so to wrap it up, doubt kills more dreams than failure ever has or will. Doubt kills more dreams than failure ever had or will. Failing makes you grow. And really, quitting and failing are two different things. Quitting only gives one person satisfaction. And you know who it is? The person that said, you can't do that. You want to go back and prove everybody that said you couldn't do this right, just go ahead and quit. Failing, that's just, you're just learning. You're growing. When you fail in Mary Kay, you didn't do it right, whatever, you're just going to learn from it and you're going to grow, just like anything else. When I used to play basketball, you know, you can't tell you how many times you didn't shoot the ball right, you didn't have good form, you missed, you got packed. I mean, it's nothing worse than get packed when you're playing basketball. Like, you know what that means? Like, you're shooting and they're like, bam, face plate you, you know. But you learn how to, you know, fake, and you learn how to shoot better. And if you never got packed, you don't know the feeling of learning how to fake, you know, but you don't quit. So in conclusion, practice to learn your skills so that you'll get good at it. Practice makes perfect, just like getting on that bicycle. Number 2, everybody messes up every now and then, and before they get good, it's hard before it's easy. So it takes time. So don't be in too big of a hurry and say, you know, I got to do this right now. I'm out of here. I mean, you know, think of the Egyptians. You know, the Israelites, 40 years in the wilderness, right? That's a long time to wait. David, 25 years before he was king. You know, and there's all kind of stories in the Bible how people waited, right? So don't get too in a hurry for success. Work consistently. That's what's going to get it there for you. Number 3 is form people, FORM, to make those connections and find that need, find their why. Number 4, be a kid like Halloween. Run to your next, run. After you get a no, run to the next one. Number 5 is remember the system that Mary Kay Ash started, the skincare class. Try before you buy, test before you invest. Number 6, feel, felt, found. Use that. I know how you feel. I felt that way too, and I have found. Mary Kay used to use that all the time. Number 7, everybody's not going to tell you no. Mary Kay Ash used to say, no, you turn it around, and what does it spell? And we're like, on. She goes, that's right. No just means go on, tell me more, because obviously they don't understand, or they would say yes. So she said, well, I don't hear a no, I hear on. And that just means they need more information. And I've always remembered that. So I used to say, people can't tell me no, because I'm like, and how many of you said no before you said yes? I did. I said no before I said yes, and she just didn't give up, right? So you might have too. So just remember, they have to go on, all right? And then number 8 is well, not number 8, but just to wrap it up, I want you guys to evaluate what you've done so far this month, your first 21 days. I want you to look back. How many people have you put Mary Kay on? How many faces? How much have you sold? How many career chats or interviews have you done? How many recruits do you have for the month? And how much wholesale do you already have in? Okay, well, just evaluate it. It's not a good number or a bad number. It's just a number. Okay, so when you write it down, go, okay, that's the facts. It's not good or bad. It's just a fact. and then think, what am I going to do the next 10 days to change my story for my October? Now, some of you are already on a roll. You keep doing it. But if some of you have really had some goals that you really want to get some recruits this month and you really wanted to max out that double credit, do a $2,000 wholesale order or more even, what could you do in the next 10 days to get that done? Because it's not too late to change the story for October. Not too late, all right? So you could say, okay, I'm going to get some bookings. I'm going to get on the phone, maybe even tonight, get on Facebook, see who's up. You can see the green dots. Those women are up. You can chat with them, right? Get you some people to the meeting tomorrow night if you're going to have a meeting tomorrow or Tuesday night. And think about those women that you've talked to that maybe you could revisit and talk to them about the special for this month with the 2 masks free, because there's lots that can be done in the last 10 days of the month, okay? And so the last quote I'm going to say is that, remember that people do not want to be, they don't want to be told what to do. People, they don't want to be told, they want to be heard. And so by listening more, talking less, you're going to find out a lot about people. And I know even at Mary Kay at the top director trip, there was Laura Beitler got up and did this whole thing. And when I left, I thought, what I felt like is that Laura Beitler is listening to the Mary Kay sales force, and that we are being heard. Like the things we have suggested, the things that we have talked about, the things we are concerned about, they are listening. And when I even went up to talk to her, I said, I want to tell you that was great. She was talking about the teams of teams. And I said, one of the things I feel like we need in the company is we need something in the starter kit that's a little more like a flip chart for a team building appointment. I said, something like that, a guide, and that a new consultant could just take and use. And she said, Cleta, you know what? You're so right. And that is something that we're going to be working on. She didn't go, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, she listened. And that made me have confidence in Laura Beitler. Okay? Does that make sense to you guys? So when you're talking with your team members, remember, they want to be heard when they're telling you something, when they're concerned about something. Don't go, yeah, or no, that's not true. Mary Kay does. Just listen and go, you know what? Let me think about that a minute. And because they may have a valid point of something that you could help them with. All right. And we're all leaders. We're all trying to be good examples. And so the best thing you could do is lead by example by doing your own appointments, bringing your girls with you to your appointment so they can see what you're doing and how to do it. Okay. That's what I got for you today. So, I want to have you on the Voxer group. I would like for you just to, let me think what I want you to say. I thought about something and now I forgot what I want you to do. You know what, let's do? Let's just have everybody needs to be doing faces. So let's just right now on the Voxer group, just say, I commit to however many faces you're going to do in the next 10 days. Okay? Just by the end of the month. Not like, don't forget, whatever you've done, it don't matter. But by the 31st, I will do however many faces you'll do. Is it 1? Is it 5? Is it 10? Whatever you want to do, put it on there. And then hold yourself accountable to whatever goal you just set for yourself. And as you're doing those faces, just go ahead and ask every single one of them about the business opportunity. If you could just take a minute to talk to them about it. After you get to know them a little bit with that form, because when you're facialing people, you could say, let me tell me about you. What about your family? Well, I want to know all about you. And then by the end, you're going to know what to say. It's not hard. Keep it simple. Okay. So just put how many faces you're going to commit to. And then we'll do the drawing next Sunday night. Okay. So I'm going to stop our recording.